everyone, it's Shell from Scrap Secrets and welcome back to my channel. Today's day 16 in the 2022 Countdown to Christmas series. We're going to be creating our own custom background using some layering stencils, which are some of my favorite things to do. So we're going to start off with a piece of craft cardstock that measures 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 inches. We're going to be using some stencils from A Colorful Life Designs. So these are called the Santa Hat layering stencils, very appropriately named. And I'm going to be lining up the stencil with the marks on this mat. So this is a We Are Memory Keepers magnetic mat. You'll see me use it a lot when I do my ink blending. I did not tape my paper down or have it secured in any way, so you will see it moves a little bit, but it's very easy to put it back in place. I'm using Distress Oxide in Aged Mahogany, which you don't normally see me use. I have this over with my browns, and then someone the other day said that it was red. And I was like, oh, let me see how this looks on craft cardstock. And I think it looks like a very deep red, like a maroon color almost, a rusty red. And I really like the way it looks on craft cardstock. So the reason you want to use this technique with craft cardstock is we're going to be using a white pen for the details for the hat, and it's going to come out on craft cardstock. If you did it on white cardstock, you would have to find another way to create that white fuzzy ball at the back and the trim of the hat. So once this is all inked up, we're actually going to use some embossing powder over top of the piece. I did not go over it first with any of my anti-static powder, that light kaolin clay. I probably should have, because it did stick into some areas where it shouldn't, but that's okay because we figured out how to cover it up or to adjust it to make it work. So I'm flicking on that embossing powder. So this is Recollections, and it's a red glitter. It has a little bit of gold glitter in it, but when you actually go to heat emboss it, you'll see that the glitter kind of just turns almost a whitish color. So it kind of just fades into the background and it's just shiny. So I'm taking a brush and wiping off all of the pieces that are excess, again, because I did not use that light kaolin clay that I normally do. I don't know why I didn't do it, but I did not use it on top of this. I didn't use it when I did some of the other cards. I'm going to show you at the end some other cards that I did for a project that I have going on right now. So I'm using my heat gun to go ahead and heat that up. And the reason that you can use the Distress Oxides is they stay wet a little bit longer. Now, it didn't cover every single piece of the hat, which is totally fine. I just wanted a little bit of sparkle and shine. So I'm going around and making sure that I hit every one of the hats to melt all that powder. And you can see the difference between the ones that haven't been melted and the ones that have been. I also will flip it over onto the back to go ahead and heat it from the back, just to kind of try to minimize the warping. So once that is cooled off, I let that cool down for a minute on the side, just because we're using another stencil and we're using a marker on top of this, or a pen. So it was easy to see where everything was. I actually, because I went off the edge of the stencil, I was able to line the ink marks up with the paper very easily, and then very, very easily put the top layer on. Obviously, I did some cards in these before and just never washed them off because I knew that I wanted, once I did these, I was like, oh, this would be a really good idea for a super quick card, because I was mass producing these for a project. One of my friends from grad school is asking for money for cards for Alzheimer's patients, and I asked her if I could make cards instead of donating money, and she said absolutely. So she said her students are making cards, so I'm going to give them to my sister-in-law, because my sister-in-law works at the school that she teaches at, so it works out really well. So now I'm using a white Pitt Pen to just go in and fill in the areas that where the fluffy fur trim would be, and the little ball, pom-pom ball on the end. The only problem with this is it does not wipe off after this, so the stencil will be stained a little bit. It does not bother me, but if that does, you might want to find a different medium, but I think it came out really well. And the cool thing about this is that if the hat extends a little further than where it should, then the pen just won't really write over top of it. It'll put a little bit of the white on there, but you can actually pretty much wipe it off. So it just looks continuous. So you'll see what I mean when I pull the stencil off, is that some of it, like in the middle, the one that I just touched there, that embossing powder went a little bit too far and it still looks fine. So I was trying to line it up to think, oh, maybe I'll do it again. And then I just added a little bit of a thicker line over top of it and it looks fine. So there is the card front. Simple, easy to do. I did mass produce a bunch of these for Christmas cards, so I thought they'd be super cute, but I did them as one layer. So now we are actually going to go back in and glue this down to a 4 1/4 by 5.5 inch craft card base. It's not the exact same color craft. I couldn't find the same color craft piece that I used. Using my Honeybee Be Creative glue to glue this down to the front, and then we are going to stamp on the inside. And we are going to be stamping using a Hero Arts, and I can't remember the name of the stamp set, but it's one that I showed you, I think, in the last haul. It's this one right here. Oh, I'm sorry, in the stamp bundle. It's not the candle release. This is the Christmas tree bundle. And I bought the one with the dies and the stamps, and then I also bought the layering stencils. But we are just going to be using the Merry Christmas. I'm going to go ahead and stamp it in that same aged mahogany, and then I'm going to stamp presents from that same stamp set in the top left and the bottom right corner. And that is going to be the card for today. I am going to show you a bunch of cards that I made after this for the Alzheimer's patients, and it's a very dear thing to me. My friend said it was also something that was close to her heart, which is why she picked it. My grandmother had Alzheimer's, and she was probably one of the most important people in my life. She's been gone 21 or 22 years now. So I think it was 22 years this year. She died in 2000. My grandfather died in 1999, and she died in 2000, exactly a year apart, 365 days apart. So, they were both very, very prominent people in my life. So, anytime somebody says something about Alzheimer's, I am in for supporting anything, research, bringing smiles to people's faces that have Alzheimer's, and anything like that, I'm definitely in. So when I saw it was for that, I would have done it anyway, but it was extra special for me. So back to this. This is the card, and then I'm going to show you some of the cards that I made. So these are from some Hero Arts dies. I just picked some pattern papers that I had lying around. Most of them are from 6x6. The snowflake ones are actually from a scrap piece of paper that was left over, and then there are 2 more of them that I stamped on the inside, the same exact greetings, and then I used a Colorful Life design stencil for these ones. Those are all the cards I've made so far. I'm planning on doing a couple more this weekend. So that's it for this video. If you have not checked out the intro video for the giveaway information, the link is below in the description box. And I will be back again real soon with another video. Bye!